A couple of weeks before release and we've managed to get our hands on Criminal Girls 2 Party Favours' first couple of worlds. But what kind of party favours are on offer here? Are we talking basic Walker's Crisps? Or perhaps Walker's Sensations? Well, that's kind of the whole reason we're doing a preview, so keep watching. From playing the beginning of the game, I'm happy to be able to say that Criminal Girls 2 outclasses the original Criminal Girls. 2 is a massive step up in quality in terms of presentation, and offers some of the slickest dungeon crawler battles to date. It boasts a combat system so simple that even your nan could play it, and it'd be an added bonus if she knew what S&M means, which she does. A delicious peanut candy, right? The combat system in Criminal Girls 2 is a unique beast. 4 of your party members surround the enemies, and each suggests an action that they should take. These actions depend on their motivation level. The higher the level, the more effective their suggestions might be. If a girl is completely unmotivated, she'll simply refuse to fight. On top of this, you can also use one item per round and can also coach them. Different styles of coaching offer buffs and debuffs to your team, depending on whether they're aligned more as S or M, like it's some kind of D&D character alignment chart. It feels pretty chunky and satisfying. Ironically, the power lies with you over whether the girls veer more towards M, S, or M and S's dine-in for 2 range. This is all done through the motivation system, and yes, it's probably one of the main things you've already seen about the Criminal Girls series, and one that has been the subject of some controversy. But don't worry, there's a piece of dialogue quite early on where Shinoa makes it very clear that they want to be motivated and that they of course give their consent. Because why wouldn't they give their consent? That would be ridiculous and unjust, and your PSN account definitely won't be added to any kind of government list at all. Why would you even think that? There are some interesting and innovative concepts within that system, putting you in the place of a guide who has to help these criminal girls earn redemption from hell, and guiding them to reach their full potential is interesting in the way it's reflected in the systems. For all of its controversy though, the motivation scenes still seem a little bit weak. To level the girls up, even if you're performing well in the motivation scenes, you're going to need to do the same rubbing minigame multiple times. The dungeon design is also pretty basic so far and not too interesting, mostly just plain rooms and corridors and key collecting. Graphically, however, the game looks great, and the portraits move just enough to make the characters feel alive, and especially so with the motivation images, giving some impressive depth to the artwork. And hey, the game's localization is pretty good too. It's pretty self-aware of the kind of game it is, and it's not afraid to poke fun at itself. It's lively, light, interesting, and it seems like the localization team have really loved working on the game, and that's great to see. All in all, it seems like they've done a pretty fantastic job. The story seems a little bit more interesting than the first game so far too, teasing some possible inversions of what we already know about Criminal Girls from the first game. The main character has amnesia, so you need to try and figure out what's going on as you lead the girls to redemption. It's intriguing so far, but it's a little early in the day for me to say whether it will truly deliver or not. But just from playing the beginning, I think it's pretty fair to say that if the first Criminal Girls was indeed a basic packet of Walker's Crisps, then comparatively, Criminal Girls 2 is definitely a step up to the Walker's Sensations from what I've played so far. If the first game teased you, then this should be well on its way to surpassing your expectations.